Hello everyone and welcome to a book review on Indexing by, I don't know how you pronounce his name or her name. I don't know whose name this is. It's Seanan McGuire, so make of that as you will. And this was apparently a Kindle serials book, which I haven't gotten into but wanted to. And I won this in a Goodreads first reads. And I go and when I review of any Goodreads first reads that I win on Goodreads. But this will be my first video review on a Goodreads first reads. I don't know how often I do it. Probably just whenever I really like something and want to review it. But yeah, this is in this book. You have fairy tales are real and they kind of play out in very literal sense, and it's a very interesting universe. But the main thing about this book isn't really the fairy tales or the stories. They're really short. I mean, it was a Kindle serials thing, and pretty much each chapter is which lasts about 30 pages in this 404-page book. And each chapter is basically, based on a different fairy tale, pretty much, for the most part. And the main thing about this isn't the fairy tales, but the main characters. And their story is really the highlight of this book. And the main characters work at a government funded facility, a secret, because, fairy tales aren't known to the world, just the government. They have to go around and stop the fairy tales as they happen, and they have like a government central thing, and they are able to somehow detect fairy tales, signs of fairy tale activity and stuff. And it's I really like a pretty interesting universe. I really like the universe in this, and I hope maybe it's already happened. I don't know. I haven't really listened to this author too much. But I hope the author writes more books in this universe with the same characters or not, whatever, but more books that are more focused on the fairy tales, because this book was more focused on the characters, which was fine. And pretty much the characters are the star of the show instead of the fairy tales. And the characters are really good because they have a team, and 4 out of the 5 people on the team are part of fairy tales themselves, and they have to constantly try to avoid activating their fairy tale. And it's an interesting story. I really like it. I recommend it. Yeah, pretty cool cover too. I really enjoying this book. I think I'd probably give it I'm not sure what I would give it. I think I would give it either a 7 or 8. I think more towards a 7, because the characters were top notch, and I love that basically the entire book pretty much revolved around them, but at the same time I kind of wanted a bit more on the fairy tale, because it seemed like this each fairy tale barely lasted any time before it was over. And I know it was originally a Kindle serial, and this is just a binder of all the Kindle serials, and that's how it's supposed to do it, and that's fine. But that's just my personal opinion, and maybe this author will write more and there are more books in this series, in this universe or whatever, and focus more on the fairy tales. I haven't really read too many fairy tale-ish books, but I do like what I do read in terms of fairy tales, stuff based on fairy tales. And yeah, I'm really stumbling over my words, but just pretty good book. I give it a 7, a solid 7. And yeah, thanks for watching. Until next time.
If you like this video, then please subscribe. I make all kinds of book and video game related videos. Thanks for watching. Until next time, wahoo!